Hello everyone, now we want to show you the fourth day of the Transitalia Marathon 2024. You can expect beautiful shots and a small crash. Here we go. On day 4, we drive south from Cascia in the Umbria region into the Lazio region, make a small loop, and finish today's stage in Rieti after approximately 260 kilometers. A colorful mix of wide plains, dense forests, and high mountains awaits us. As a reminder, yesterday we arrived in Cascia in Piazza San Francesco at the foot of the Basilica of Santa Rita. This is our starting point again this morning. In contrast to yesterday, we are greeted by beautiful weather today and are looking forward to the fourth stage of the Transitalia Marathon 2024. Today's stage starts in the region of Umbria. Umbria is often referred to as the Green Heart of Italy and is known for its centuries, old towns, and dense forests. 30% of Umbria's surface area consists of mountains. We have already told you a lot about the Umbria region in our previous video. On stage 3, we have linked the video again at the top right. The Lazio region, with the Italian capital Rome, has a regional capital whose name is easy to remember. Latina. Lazio is located on the so-called Italian knee and has a Mediterranean climate with maximum temperatures of 16 degrees in winter and 40 degrees. In late summer, even at night, the temperatures only cool down marginally, in addition to the wooded mountain ranges. Lazio has fertile valleys that are used for growing cereals and olives. We will finish today's stage in the limestone mountains of Abruzzo in the province of Rieti. But as nice as the journey has started, unfortunately we have to realize that we are traveling in the wrong direction. After discussing a bit on the radio, we decided in favor of the majority opinion and turned back. That turned out to be the right decision. Democracy always proves its worth. We have now found the right route again, and are riding in bright sunshine through the Umbrian countryside, with its olive groves, vineyards and green hills at over 1,000 meters above sea level towards Fustagna, with its 7 inhabitants. We have the road almost to ourselves. If you are used to the Alps, you will be surprised to realize that Umbria is apparently not yet familiar with the concept of mass tourism. No motorhomes block the view of the beautiful bends, which are very relaxed to drive here. There are no double crossed-out lines where you can't overtake. You will no doubt remember our experience with the huge truck on the first stage. Bends, 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 and nobody on the road to disturb us on our roller coaster. Ride through an almost deserted landscape. After Trognano, we crossed the border between Umbria and Lazio over a beautiful plateau. This is where the famous horses of the Lazio Maremma are bred, not necessarily right next to the highway, of course. So we can only show you one picture. It is believed that the Roman horse of the Latin Maremma is descended from the horses of the ancient Romans, such as that of Marcus Aurelius, or even Etruscans. Although the Mirameno was sometimes used in the past as a warhorse and as a transport horse, it was mainly used as a workhorse for cattle breeding in open fields. Even today, the so-called butterai fry, Italian drovers who do not like to be called cowboys, earn their living with these horses and cultivate their culture with pride. They are still held in high esteem by the population. Finally, an important detail since 1993, breeding stallions of the Mirameno breed have been subject to a performance test. We do not want to go into any more detail on this subject here. We have now arrived in the mountains. We follow this P10, also known as the tourist road, which in turn follows the course of the Corno River backwards. Via Leonessa at 1,000 meters above sea level in the Monte Retini, we continue via Gavelli and Piters to Sant'Anatolia di Narco. Back into the Umbria region, the route takes us through a chain of breathtaking mountains that reach their highest altitude in the Terminio Massif at 2,000 meters. The small village of Sant'Anatolia di Narco lies at the foot of Monte Cosimo, on a small river terrace on the banks of the Nere. After Sant'Anatolia di Narco, we enjoy the Countess Benz on the way to Portuglia. We are a little worried about the rain clouds, but this concern is unfounded. It will stay dry all day, although the sun will only occasionally peek through the clouds. We should be a little more worried about the roads, but we don't know that at this point. Suddenly the wide roads and great views are over. The road narrows so much that there is only room for one vehicle. Fortunately, there are no vehicles coming towards us, and the driver in front can warn us in good time by radio about slippery leaves in hairpin bends or carelessly patched road surfaces. And anyway, aren't we riding an Enduro that can actually get almost anywhere? Or so we thought. Okay, moss, and wet leaves on the road, and a poor road surface. What the heck? But now the road version of the Transitalia Marathon seems to be turning into a gravel version. Bad asphalt suddenly ends and is replaced by loose ground. No problem with a light enduro bike without luggage and weighing just 150 kilograms. The only problem is that two of us are sitting on a large enduro weighing almost 300 kilograms. On which only 80 to 20 tires are fitted. So we ride carefully through the unpaved hairpin bends and always follow the others with more off-road experience. Okay, now we come to the unpleasant part.
Scheiße!
And because it was so interestingly, one more time.
Bitte.
Watch out for the clutch lever. So did you pay attention to that? After disengaging the clutch, the engine stops and the vehicle tips over.
Ich bräuchte mal ein bisschen Hilfe, ihr Lieben.
And that's exactly how it was in retrospect. I seriously asked myself how I would have righted the bike on my own, sure. You take the panniers off and put the bike back up again. Well, it's a good thing I didn't have to do it alone. Many thanks to all the helpers who were about to lend a hand. So while we watch together as the bike is righted with combined forces, we can philosophize about the cause of the accident. Due to the poor road surface, I approached the hairpin bend slowly with all the wet leaves. I approached the bend on the inside first mistake because I couldn't get my left foot on the ground on the sloping road to stop the fall. Then I pulled out the clutch before the bend at approximately 13 kilometers to be able to modulate better. Released the clutch at approximately 9 kilometers in the bend so as not to lose momentum. At 7 kilometers, bike suddenly stalls and falls over because there is no momentum. But why did the engine stop?
Lass uns die mal lieber ein Stückchen da hinschieben.
Oder runter.
Nee,
Mit
nee.
der Hand
Runterrollen lassen.
oder runterrollen.
Ja, lass mal runterrollen. Warte. Moment. Ganz langsam.
Ja. Jetzt kommen noch welche. Vorsicht.
My guess, apart from my own stupidity because I approached the bend on the inside, is that the clutch pressure point was set too late, and that's why the clutch didn't get soft at the end. This clutch snapping is not critical at higher speeds, but not when driving slowly after this experience. I changed the clutch pressure point by adjusting the clutch lever, using the rotary knob, and removing about 2 millimeters of clutch fluid with a syringe. Now, the pressure point is much earlier and more controlled. Oh yes, it would certainly also have been helpful to select the rain or road mode. I had simply forgotten to change the mode. Dynamic Pro, here is a small graphic showing the differences.
Das ist nicht so schlecht. Das ist irgendwie scheiße.
Fahr einfach mal oben hin und du gleich.
What actually broke? Fortunately not much, a protector for the cylinder guard, which is available from the Chinese for a few euros, or elsewhere for considerably more, and an edge protector on the left-hand aluminum case, was later replaced by BMW. It's great that all spare parts are available separately here. However, the replacement is not riveted, but screwed on well. Nothing changes in terms of appearance. So the GS survived everything well, and apart from a pulled muscle in my thigh, nothing suffered except for my ego. Of course, after the initial shock, we climbed back on the bike and continued. Unfortunately, it was still gravel at the start, but at some point, we got back to more or less reasonable tarmac. We continue via the small village of Pontuglia to Ferentio, with its 1,800 inhabitants. As you can see in our pictures, the small village lies between two steep mountain slopes on the banks of the river Nera. We pass the church of Santa Maria with its Romanesque bell tower from the 13th century. Legend has it that the Holy Grail Hysia, the mythical chalice used by Jesus at his Last Supper, is hidden here. Believers say that the initials of the saints' names painted on the church walls of the Collegiate Church of Santa Maria form the word Grail. According to Wikipedia, however, a whole series of places lay claim to this shrine. So we simply drive a few kilometers further through the center to Castellanoto, which is also a district of Ferentino. The route continues into the mountains via the small village of Villa Pulcini towards Leonessa. We cross the border into Lazio again, and continue up into the mountains. We have a gazebo on the gravel roads. We don't want to kiss the ground again today, even though the last time went very smoothly. At least I've switched off dynamic mode and now take the hairpin bends further out. After all, you can learn. Hopefully the wildlife along the way will appreciate that. We continue across a beautiful plateau in the sunshine to the small community of Leonessa at 1,000 meters above sea level, where we'll spend our lunch break. We drive through medieval alleyways to the Piazza 7th of April 1944 in the center, which was named in memory of a massacre by German soldiers of 51 civilians, including members of the fascist party and a priest. Our group enjoys a very tasty pizza. Unfortunately, I have to reattach my protector to the cylinder guard, and I don't really have an appetite. After a good hour's lunch break, we first ride to the Corno Valley into the Monte Retini. After Leonessa, there are many shady, deciduous forests on the mountain slopes, which make for a pleasant riding climate. We then quickly reach the mountains with the Campo Stella ski area at up to 1,700 meters above sea level. The ski area is close to the Sella di Leonessa and Monte Terminio, both of which we will cross later.
I can see the light from your bedroom door. You've been staying up late, I don't know what for. Let's watch the spinning blades of the ceiling fan. When you're with me, it's not so bad. Let's count the running sheep, come on, take my hand. Come on and take my hand.
We are now approaching the summit of the Sella di Leonessa at almost 1,100 meters on great asphalt with wonderful curves. The Sella di Leonessa has an exceptional position among the crossings of the Apennines. It is by far the highest asphalted pass in this mountain range and is passable between May and November. The pass is very popular with cyclists and is one of the historic climbs of the Giro d'Italia. The elevation profile is impressive. Unfortunately, we can't enjoy the view due to the fog and quickly decide to descend the pass. It goes up and down so quickly that you don't even need to put on warm gloves.
But truth be told, I try the same damn thing. Let's watch the spinning blades of the ceiling fan. When you're
We want to spare you the ugly bed castles of the ski resorts. After descending the pass, we now reach the suburbs of our stage destination. Rieti is the capital of the province of the same name, and was already described as a very old city. In ancient times, unfortunately, we can't show you any photos of our arrival in Rieti because the memory card was full. Maybe that's not a bad thing, because we had to stay in the worst hotel in Rieti so far. Let's rather cover this blue hotel with a cloak of silence. If you liked our video, we would be delighted to receive a thumbs up, or even a subscription to our channel. We hope to welcome you soon to the video about the 5th day of the Transitalia marathon. Then you can also see pictures of the city of Rieti, where we started the last day the next morning.